Good morning, everyone. Hi, Mom. Hi, Eldon. So we just got our new 35-inch mud tires mounted on our rims for the Dakota. So before we put these on, since we have all the wheels off, I figured it would be a good time to trim those front fender wells. So this will help you out if you're trying to put 35-inch tires on your Dakota, or if you don't have as much lift on your truck as us and you want to put 33's, you might find some value in this. So first things first, we're gonna stretch out an extension cord here. We'll get our saw out, and then I'll show you exactly what we're gonna cut. And before we get too far along, I wanna say that this video is sponsored by Carhartt. Get some clothes gear for every terrain that works just as hard as you do. Carhartt has never given us anything or paid us a cent, but they have really good stuff, and I certainly wish they would. All right, so not a ton goes into this. You know, everybody hears cutting your fender wells and thinks it's some crazy thing that you're getting in there and chopping all kinds of stuff out. No. Like, we're putting 35's on these Dakotas, and that's a bigger tire than a lot of people think you can even fit on this truck. A lot of forums say that you can't even fit 35's on these. We did, I proved it, and we're gonna do it again. But for the front wells here, so this is the passenger front wheel well. So for the rear of it here, if you don't do any off-roading, if this truck is just your mall crawler, you don't have to cut anything in the rear. Now, we will take this off-road into some trails. It's not like we get too crazy with it, but we flex it out enough that sometimes I can get a tire to rub on this back little fender well. So where I like to cut on these is just kind of where your factory fender, you know, your flare comes down about this line. Just follow that all the way over. You can kind of see the lines there that I was making with my glove. So we're really just gonna take about 1.5 inches off the back well, and that is going to clear. We will never rub on that. That is going to clear our tire for anything that we might do. And then as far as the front of the wheel well, all we really do is cut these corners off. So I kind of come in right about here. Oh, what is that? Maybe 3 inches up from the bottom. And I just make a cut that angles towards the front. So, and I kind of follow it around. Basically, you just need to cut where this fender kind of comes back here. So you cut in a little bit, I'll cut straight down here. And then, yeah, you kind of just try and make it look somewhat tasteful. You know, you don't want it to look like you just hacked up your truck, but we'll try and make it look as good as we can. But yeah, that's all it is. Just take in 1.5 inches or so off the back, cut that corner off the front. So we've got our saw plugged in, so let's get to chopping. And I always kind of look and make sure there's nothing behind our fender that we might hit. You know, on the driver's side, there's a couple wiring harnesses, some brake lines and stuff, so you'll definitely want to be a little bit sensitive there to where you're cutting. You could always use a hand saw if you wanted to, but there ain't nothing here, and I've done this a few times, so we're gonna use the electric saw. And I don't make a line really, I just eyeball it, wing it to win it. And that's it. There is our 1.5 inches taken off the rear. Woo! Now to cut the front. Yep. All right, so that was the corner that we took off. So you can see that the inside piece is kind of still there. So now we'll just whack that off. And well, I might almost come at this from the side, and I'll cut in just around to that back part, and I think we'll call that a day. All right, and that's the inside corner piece there. So I'll kind of give you a look at what we did. But, you know, essentially it's really just taking that corner off. So as we look at it from the side here, Let me reposition. Looking at it from the side, I mean, it just looks like he kind of shaved that corner off. So, and you can go over this, you know, with another blade and clean it up, make it look a little bit nicer so there's not the little pieces of plastic dangling off of it. But that's all we're gonna do for the passenger side. Just that rear and the front, so we'll move over to the driver's side quick. All right, so now we're on the driver's side. We'll just start with the front since that's fresh in our mind. And I'll kind of just start it from the side here, just like I did the other side. Left-handed. Just about, a little more. All right, front little corner is off. So now we'll just kind of zip over and then down. Once we get to the inside of that, I don't know, little bulge that's there. Should be it. Now we just got to go up on it. Lower piece gone. Looking at it from the side, let's see. Yeah, looks like we almost cut a little bit more forward on this one than our other one. It's not like you can see the front from both sides at the same time. Nobody will ever know that it's not symmetrical. All right, and so for the back side of the driver wheel well, you can kind of see there's a whole gaggle of wires and harnesses that are kind of right behind this fender. So I'm gonna make the same cut. You know, I'm gonna take just that 1.5 inches off it all the way across until I about meet the top of this fender flare. But I don't want to accidentally cut any of those harnesses or wires. So I'm gonna start my cut on the inside of the fender with just a little hand saw. So I mean, this is a hacksaw blade on a little hand tool. So I'm just gonna start that by hand, and then once I'm kind of past those harnesses, then we can put in our electric saw and finish it out real quick. But we just wanna be on the safe side there. You know what? That is going so well. I'm just gonna finish it with the handsaw. Maybe I should have been using the handsaw the whole time. All right, so we got our piece off there. So, well, and now that that's gone, you can kind of see that wiring harness that hangs below there. But it is further back than our fender well. You know, it's 1 inch or 2 back. I can get my hand in between there. So if you have that zip tied back correctly, you know, you shouldn't be worried about your tire rubbing on it. But then you can see our body spacer puck there. That's kind of exposed now. But yeah, so that is it for the fender trimming. You don't really need to do any more than that for our truck. That we have the 2-inch suspension lift, 3 inches for a body lift, and trimming the fenders like that, we can fit our 35's no problem. So, and the one thing I'll say is that we're putting our 35's on factory rims. If you have rims that have a greater offset, you know, your tire is going to touch more, you know, on the back side of your frame and fender well, and then same on the front. So this is kind of all you need to do if you use the factory rims. If you get to some crazy deep dish rims, you're probably gonna need to trim more than we did here. But I like the factory Dodge Dakota rims. They're simple, they're tasteful. I just like to use those. Well, and that should do it for this video, guys. So like the video if this helped you out, subscribe if you want to see more, and until next time, have a wonderful night, guys.